Okay, welcome everyone. We're going to take just a second to allow our live stream to get started on Facebook of the Virtual Business Summit for 2022. And today's subject is a really great one. These folks have been active in the Walla Walla area for a while on a project called Blue Zones. It's something that the Chamber has really been involved with. Really interesting stuff and something that could really help out your business and your employees. So we're very grateful to be joined today by Meghan DeBolt and Katy DePonty, who are both with Blue Zones, and then also Medina, who is with the Blue Mountain Community Foundation, also a member of the Walla Walla Valley Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. Thank you all for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Kyle. We so appreciate being here and getting to share a little bit of information about the Blue Zone Project and the work that we do to support our local businesses and entrepreneurs in their well-being endeavors. So my name is Katy DePonty, and I have the pleasure of serving as the organization lead for the Blue Zone Project here in the Walla Walla Valley. And I am joined by my fantastic colleague and our executive director, Meghan DeBolt. Meghan, would you like to say hello? She's also sharing her screen for our presentation.
Hi, yeah, thank you. And thanks for having us, Kyle and Cole, me on the board. Am I sharing the right screen?
Looks good to me.
Oh, good. That's great. You never know if that's going to work out or not. Excellent. Well, Katy, take it away.
Well, all right. So we're excited to share some information with you about the Blue Zone Project and the many ways that we can support the success of businesses of all sizes, shaped and formed within our community. We'll begin with a brief background on the original Blue Zones and the approach to the community projects, including some results from more established communities, as Walla Walla is just ending its first year of our project. And we'll follow that with an overview of the ways the Blue Zone Project can work directly with your organization to support the well-being of you and your team. We'll hear from Cole Medina, who's with the Blue Mountain Community Foundation, as Kyle mentioned, and they have recently become a Blue Zone Project approved organization, and we'll have some time at the end as well to answer any questions that you may have. So let's go ahead and dive in. And we'd love to start by just acknowledging our fantastic sponsor, Adventist Health. It would not be possible for the Blue Zone Project to be here in our community without the support and sponsorship that they have provided, both to the project as well as to endeavoring to have better health for our community here in the Walla Walla Valley. So we're going to start with a little well-being pop quiz. So for folks that are joining us, if you wouldn't mind, you can put your answers to these fun questions into the chat, and we'll share just a few little tidbits, some well-being tidbits. So the first question is, how many years do you think are added to your life if you volunteer on a regular basis? How many years are added to your life if you volunteer on a regular basis? See if any answers come through. Oh, Stephanie, good. 10, awesome. 8, getting closer. 5. So the answer is actually 7. So research has shown that volunteering on a regular basis actually adds 7 years to your life. Next up, we're curious if anyone can name the number of steps that it takes to go from the public parking lot on 2nd and Birch here in Walla Walla to the First Avenue Plaza, which is actually where our office is located. So this is a little similar to how many gumballs are in the gumball machine, but how many steps do you think it is from the 2nd and Birch parking lot to the First Avenue Plaza?
I just did this morning, and so 1,500.
1,500.
Oh.
Wow. Okay, well, Stephanie, you were very close. Oh, Paul, even closer. So it is 457 steps. Megan just walked it this morning. So next up is, how many fruits or vegetable servings are recommended for an adult to eat in a day? How many fruit and veggie servings? 5. Very good, Stephanie. Yes, actually, it's 4 to 5. You were right on the money. That's great. And last but not least, according to the CDC, 23% of adults can identify their purpose in life. Is this statement true or false? True or false? According to the CDC, 23% of adults can identify their purpose. Actually, this is true, which I always find shocking because it seems like people would have identified purpose. More people would have identified their purpose, but only 23%. Okay, so thanks for participating in our little quiz there. And moving on, like I said, I'm going to give a little bit of background on the original Blue Zones. So in 2004, a National Geographic researcher, Dan Buettner, teamed up with the National Institute on Aging and the world's best longevity researchers to identify pockets around the world where people lived measurably better and longer lives. They had the highest concentration of people living to be 100 years or older. These people are called centenarians. And those longevity hotspots were named the Blue Zones and included Nicoya, Costa Rica, Sardinia, Italy, Icaria, Greece, Okinawa, Japan, and Loma Linda, California. Dan and his team discovered common characteristics among these 5 Blue Zone communities that helped them explain their health and longevity. They found 9 common lifestyle characteristics that we now call the Power 9, as you can see there on the screen. And while the characteristics did not look identical in every community, they did exist in every community in their own way. The Power 9 lifestyle principles are small, very easy steps that anyone can take in their daily life to feel better, live longer, and be happier. And these simple behaviors include moving naturally throughout your day, downshifting or de-stressing, finding and pursuing your purpose, so being part of that 23%, eating with a plant slant, so not exclusively vegetarian necessarily, but just incorporating more fruits and vegetables, getting those 4 to 5 servings. Following the 80% rule, which in Japan is called hara hachibu, which means that you finish your meal when you're about 80% full. Gathering with friends at the end of the day to maybe share a glass of wine or just to decompress at the end of the day, maybe over a nice conversation or a cup of tea. Surrounding yourself with people who are supportive of healthy habits, putting your loved ones first, whether that be family or friends, and then belonging. So finding a faith community that you can be, or spiritual community that you can belong to. And after discovering these common traits, Dan and his team set out to impact the health and longevity of communities across the United States. There are over 60 in total now, by applying these same lifestyle practices that he found in the original Blue Zones. And today, these 60 plus communities are called Blue Zone Project communities, and the Walwala Valley is honored to be a part of that group. I believe we're number 55 or 56. And as a community, we're working over the next 2.5 years to become a Blue Zone Project certified community. In the original Blue Zone areas, residents made healthy choices because those choices were easy, even unavoidable in their surroundings. So instead of focusing just on the individual, in our communities, we focus on optimizing the environment and more specifically your life radius, which is the area around you, typically about 10 miles where you spend the majority of your day. And we try to make a tipping point for change in each of those areas. So as you can see on this next slide, we focus our work in the areas of the 3 Ps. So to start, we focus on policy. And for policy, we focus on the areas of built environment policy, tobacco policy, and food policy to support and enhance fundamental changes in our community that will live beyond the life of this project. These, thus far, these have included enhancement to pedestrian and bike conditions in the city of College Place, new tobacco signage, including vaping at our local schools, and enhanced access to nutritious foods in our local food banks. For the second P, places, we focus on the places that we visit the most often. So our place of employment, schools, restaurants, and grocery stores. By helping these places make it a little easier for their employees, students, and customers to make healthy choices, we can create healthy habits on a regular basis, since these are the places that we go the most. And lastly, we devote a lot of our time and effort to providing programming for our general community, which addresses that last P. So we offer walking groups, healthy cooking classes, purpose workshops, and volunteer opportunities to the general community to help them incorporate positive habits into their everyday life. And due to the generosity of our sponsor, there is no cost to participate in any of these programs. And with that, I will now turn it over to my colleague, Meghan, who's going to talk about the work that we do to support worksite well-being and success.
Thanks, Katie. So one of the P's, as Katie mentioned, is places. And we have some great tools to be able to use to promote worksite well-being for large and small work sites throughout the Walla Valley. And through that, Blue Zones Project has identified specific activities that help organizations make healthy choices easier. That's really what Blue Zones Project is all about. It's not meant to be hard. It's just really about making healthy choices easier within the environment where you work, where you live, where you play, where you learn. And by getting involved in the Blue Zones Project and completing the participation checklist for organizations, you can really focus on some, working in moving naturally into your day, having a positive or right outlook on life, and then making it easy to eat healthier, eat wisely, as Katie described, the Power 9, and then also helping people within your organization connect. And that's really kind of the meat of Blue Zones Project is connection. And we actually have a Connect Summit coming up that we'll talk about a little bit towards the end. But we have some great tools and recommendations that we work with organizations on to implement. So the first, move naturally, and really by encouraging your employees and team to move naturally throughout their day, it can help reduce health problems and costs associated with sitting a lot. A lot of us sit a lot. I'm fortunate to have a standing desk here, so it's so nice. And Katie has one too, and I think Cole has one. And so we're able to stand, which is so nice, but also encouraging kind of micro breaks and things like that. Some other pieces that we really encourage and work with organizations to implement are bike racks. If you could put in the chat, would any organizations here who have a bike rack for their work site, or even just access to a bike rack that maybe is out on the street and stuff that's city provided. But bike racks are a pretty simple thing to do. You don't necessarily have to purchase something to install. Like Blue Zones Project, we have a bike rack, just right down here on the plaza, which is so nice. And then also you can encourage stretching and exercise or just natural movement during meetings, events, or gatherings. Something we do a lot here, and Katie and I just did one yesterday, is we walk it a lot. If we don't need to be in front of a computer typing something, we'll take it on put on our comfy shoes and take it on the road. And we'll walk up and down Main Street or something like that if we can. Something else you can do is you can, as an organization, you can plan to maintain a garden. That's a little heavy lift, I'd say, just having my own garden. And also organize or have walking groups within your office. And you could also do something like coordinating a trail day, like heading out to Bennington Lake, once a month or something like that, to go in and do a lap around Bennington Lake. And it's also a great team building opportunity as well. But it's great to encourage team members to spend time in nature and outside, because along with moving naturally, you're also getting exposure to some healthy vitamin D. And then something else that we encourage organizations to do is to get involved or to support some of our built environment policy priorities. And there's several of those, and Katie outlined a few of them, working on the 4 Bikes project down in College Place that's just finishing up, and several others will be working. One of the projects we're working on is the Plaza on First down here with the city of Walla Walla. So those have been a lot of fun, and we're always looking for volunteers to serve on one of our committees too. The next area, sorry, this slide didn't turn out as well as I wanted it to when I downloaded it, but that's okay. But it's all about having a positive outlook or a right outlook. That's one of the 4 main areas of Blue Zones Project. And, we look to advance a sense of purpose, meaning, and loyalty within your organization. One of the most costly things that we can have within an organization is turnover. But if you're able to retain your employees, that's one of the best recruiting tools, right? Is to retain good people, and to retain good people, you need to support them and make sure that they feel like they have strong strong connection to the work that they're doing, and that they feel that there's meaning and purpose in the work that they're doing as well. And so with that, we work with organizations to host something called a purpose workshop, which is largely about, identifying, finding your gifts, your naturally born gifts, things that you're good at and that you enjoy doing, and then being able to work those into your work life as well. Promote volunteer opportunities in the community. As Katy, one of our pop quiz questions was, how many years does volunteering add to your life? Up to 7 years, which is amazing. And also volunteering, it fills your heart in a way too, when you're giving to others, especially if you're giving to others in a way that is satisfying to you as well, maybe something that's aligned with your purpose, can add up to 7 years to your life. Hosting a charitable giving campaign, I think something that was really fun working with the chamber or with that Blue Mountain Community Foundation on Nicole share, is some of these things you're already doing. Blue Mountain Community Foundation hosts a charitable giving campaign annually. Like, great. Awesome, we do it. It makes us feel good too. But even recognizing that amazing work that maybe your organization is already doing, maybe you donate to Coats for Kids or the BMAC Food Drive, things like that. Some easy ways that we can connect you with organizations to host a giving campaign as well. I know Katy worked with the City of College Place to do a giving campaign for the BMAC Food Bank. And they had a bin outside of their city hall office, and people could come and put the food in and then haul it off to BMAC, and they distribute it to community members that are in need. Another way for to promote a right outlook and positive outlook and team cohesiveness is to create ways for members to share gratitude and appreciation with one another. That could be during team meetings to have a gratitude moment, or even like a kudo board. That can be a virtual kudo board. We've been exposed with colleagues across the country to these kudo boards that are really fun to share excitement for one another, but also you could have a bulletin board in your office, something like that. That's pretty easy to do, where you can put a post-it. It's like, way to go, thanks for helping on this. We appreciate you. It's really a great way to share gratitude and appreciation for one another. And that's really critical, to maintaining a team too. I think that's something that I've always appreciated as an employee, and I know that my team members and the leadership within the organization appreciate the work that I'm doing and what I have to offer. The third area that we work with organizations on is eating wisely, and so really that's just encouraging to eat healthy. And it's really interesting to me. I've learned so much all the time, but people make more than 200 food decisions every day. And what we eat then impacts our health and our daily performance. If you have, an unhealthy lunch that's full of fried food, that's okay to do every now and then, right? Like, I love myself some French fries, but I am not a good performer after that. I am pretty sluggish at the end of the day, or towards the end of the day. And so it definitely, unhealthy eating can lead up to 66% higher risk of productivity loss. And so we work with organizations to promote that healthy eating into their, organization and the work that you do, whether that's through hosting, having healthy foods at meetings and for special events and in your vending machines, things like that. To encourage, we encourage organizations to not use unhealthy foods for fundraisers. If you're going to be doing a fundraiser, to maybe do, grapefruit or maybe even not a food option at all. Maybe do a walking fundraiser or something like that. We also, this is something we encourage organizations to do these are two pretty easy ones, I think, for most organizations, is having a water cooler or a filtered water dispenser. How many people have a water cooler in their office, or filtered water dispenser, even if that's like a Brita, that sits on your countertop. Or, that's nice because it encourages employees to drink water throughout the day instead of, potentially sugar sweetened beverages that are less healthy. And then something else that we do, as it's related to eating wisely, but more for most of our environment as well, is creating a tobacco-free environment within your workspace, which I have a feeling that every single organization, at least that is working within Washington state law and meeting labor and industry standards, is tobacco free, because it is required that all indoor spaces are tobacco free in Washington state and many states throughout the country. And so this is an easy win, but also I think it's also about designating your organization as a tobacco free zone. Even though it already is, it's that message that it sends to your team, because it's possible that maybe they utilize tobacco or nicotine products outside of the office, and but they're really recognizing that it's not the healthiest habit to have, and even being able to connect people with cessation opportunities in the community. And the fourth area that we work with organizations on is connection. And like I said, connection is the foundation of the work that we do with Blue Zones Project and promote. And I would say connection is really the foundation of the Walla Walla Valley as well. The work that we've been doing here over the last year has been so fun and fruitful, because we have all these great ingredients here. We have access to trails and being able to be outside and moving naturally. We have a great connection to purpose. We have we live in a mecca of agricultural resources with fresh fruits and vegetables all around us, and we have an amazing community that's built upon connection. And what we've been doing, Katy and I've just been having so much fun, is just putting all these pieces together and helping kind of organize it, coordinate it with organizations. But as it relates to connection, it's not just connecting with one another within your team, but also to the broader community and increasing awareness for your group, and it's the positive impact that you're having in the community. So people are twice as likely to succeed at new behaviors, including, if they've quit smoking tobacco or taken on, or tried to eat more fruits and vegetables, if they do them with friends. That could be a coworker or a colleague as well, and so some of the actions that we encourage organizations to do, are doing them with one another, with your team. And so we encourage organizations to host a family fun night or something fun that they'll do with their team, where they may, go and do something together, and then also with their significant others or partners and family members as a group. Some things that might be a little bit harder, or maybe establishing a group sports team. There's a great softball leagues or a bowling league that would be really fun. Something to go out together and do something fun. And even like hosting a book club, with the team, and reading together is really important as well, and sharing lessons learned, even if it's something along the lines of professional development that's beneficial to your organization as well. And then also even building in a time for team during even your regular team meetings to talk about and discuss health and well-being strategies that your organization is taking. Some organizations are large enough to have their own health or well-being committee, but some organizations, are working with the Downtown Foundation right now. And I think Catherine Withington would be okay with me showing you there. She's a team of 30. Right? She's like, we don't have the capacity to create a separate committee for well-being, but we are the well-being committee. We can build it into our existing weekly team meetings to have a time where we talk about and discuss and strategize on what well-being activities or strategies we want to pursue as an organization. And so another thing that organizations can do is attend the Blue Zones Project Connect Summit that is at the end of April, and there's a great lunchtime session that would be easy to fit into any one day. It's on April 27th at noon, and it's actually about the return on investment of well-being planning. And we're going to have Nick Buettner here, who is the younger brother of Dan Buettner, who's the founder of and the original researcher of the original Blue Zones, that we're going to have Nick Buechner here sharing about, really the economic benefits of well-being planning, not just to our community as a whole, but also to organizations, in terms of increased productivity, reduction in turnover, and just really overall, improvement in employee well-being, where you can then also start to see, reduced healthcare costs potentially as well in the longer term, and maybe fewer days taken off work due to adverse health ailments. But you can see here there's several other sessions that we have. We're going to start off on April 25th with the power of understanding people and Dave Mitchell, who we're really excited about. I have not heard Dave Mitchell speak before, but we got a little bit of a glimpse into what he's going to be sharing as a team. He came and kind of walked us through the exercises that he does, and we're really excited to be able to share this for free with our community. All of these sessions are free. And then that's on Monday, April 25th at 4 o'clock at the Marcus Whitman Hotel, and there will be a wine reception to follow. Katy put the registration link in the chat. We hope that you'll join us. And then on April 26th, the following night, we'll have Nick Buechner here, and we're going to be at the KISA Powerhouse Theater, and he's going to be kind of doing a high-level overview of Blue Zones Project. Really, this is for people who haven't really heard about Blue Zones Project yet, or interested in what the heck is it that we're doing here, and then we'll be able to share a little bit of what we've done so far and then what we're planning to do over the next couple of years and how to get involved. And then on the 27th, we have the benefits of worksite wellness, which is like this session on steroids, and we would love for you to come if you'd like to learn more. We have a colleague of ours who actually led all the worksite process in Portland, Texas, which is a Blue Zones Project certified community. Yolanda Harper, she's going to be here. Her and Katy are going to be doing a session on benefits of worksite wellness at 9 o'clock, and that's at the Marcus Whitman on the 27th, which is a Wednesday. And then you can see here we have a few other sessions on Wednesday as well, ending with the importance of social connectedness and really the protective factor that has for mental health. And we're going to have on Wednesday afternoon that's going to have the Reach Out Walla Walla and Take Needham, Kristen Duty from Walla Walla Public Schools, who leads the Sources of Strength work that the Walla Walla Public Schools is rolling out really throughout their secondary campuses. We'll have a couple of students that are Sources of Strength participants from Wahai and Lincoln. And we'll also have Greg Putner there. And Greg is the CEO and founder of Work Happy. And it's going to be really great to be able to look at social connectedness from those different viewpoints, and how we can really use social connectedness to prevent adverse mental health effects in our community, and overall just support one another. And so with that, we thought it would be really great to bring in Cole Medina, who worked through this process with us. He, Blue Mountain Community Foundation, is the first Blue Zones Project participating organization in the Walla Walla Valley. And it was so much fun to work with Cole on his team on this process. Cole, could you share a little bit about how excruciating that process was, working through it with me, and what you guys are hoping to see for the future?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Megan. I'm happy to talk about it. I've gone through all the sessions with my therapist, and I think I'm recovered. It was really hard to work closely with you for those meetings. And of course, I'm joking, as anyone who knows Megan knows, or anyone who just watching her here, she's a delight to work with. And the process was very easy for us. Before I talk about that, though, I hadn't seen this picture before. So these pictures that we're looking at are pictures from the celebration moment that we had after our office was certified. And I hadn't seen the pictures. And I did not realize how much taller I am than the rest of the staff here. And I don't know, I look at that picture and I'm thinking Addams Family. There's some kind of Addams Family reference there. I don't know what it is. I'm a little embarrassed. But anyway, it's not what I'm here to talk about. The process really is quite simple. All those things Meghan was just listing, that's the menu of things that you can do in your office, your work site, to become Blue Zone certified. So what did we do? It starts with activating your leadership in your team. You just need to appoint someone in your office to be your leader, be your Blue Zone's leader. For us, we chose our admin assistant. It was a great opportunity for her to take some leadership in the office, to help her be built up and have a strong role doing something important for the office. So it's a great way to build team building and personal development into your organization. Then you need to have this well-being committee that Meghan talked about. We're an office of 5 or 6 people, so we're an example of what Meghan shared, that we're just all a well-being committee. So we all are the Blue Zones Project well-being. And then we had to listen to a presentation from Meghan. We had to let her come to our office and talk to us about how this all works. And as part of that, she made us a nice meal. It was wonderful. Yeah, this nice fresh garbanzo bean salad that we all ate. So after we did that, then we just engaged our team. So we encourage everyone to take the Untitled Pledge, take the Real Age test. And I don't remember if I heard you mention that yet in this presentation, but the Real Age test is a great free online test that everyone in your office can take, and I encourage you to encourage people to do it and to do it yourself. It just gives you a great sense of how healthy you are and how you can be healthier. And after you've done that in your office, then you just go through this menu, that list of things that Meghan was just walking through. You might remember that there were 4 categories: move naturally, right outlook, eat wisely, and connect. Your office just needs to do 2 things in each one of those categories. So out of that long list of things Meghan just spoke about, you just need to pick 2 in each category. So what did we do? Well, bike racks. We already had bike racks, so that was easy. Check the box on that one. Stretching at our meetings, or some sort of centered healthy moment at our meetings. So we start all of our staff meetings now either with some seated yoga, super easy. There are all these like 5 or 6 minute seated yoga videos on YouTube. We just fire one up at the start of the meeting, and we all sit there and do some seated yoga. We did meditation one time. We tried a couple other things. Start the meeting with something that's moving naturally. That's actually great for the meeting. It's a moment for everyone to settle down, get centered, get a little focused before you start your meeting. It's not just good for the people as humans, it's good for your office. It helps the meeting run better. Also, just not walking. So go out and have some walking. That counts. Go in and walk in the light. That counts. And then a trail day. So we took one of our staff meetings on the road. We took it out Bennington Lake to have a staff meeting as we walked around the lake. So we actually checked more than 2 boxes. And right outlook is the next one. Promote volunteer activities. That one was easy for us also because we already do that. So we can check that box pretty simply. And then showing gratitude. So we end our meetings now, our staff meetings. We start how I described, something that's moving naturally. And we end with a moment where we go around the room and everyone thanks someone else in the room for whatever they want to thank you for. And it's a great way to close out the meeting, build some camaraderie, help build the team. That checks the box. Eat wisely, we're tobacco free, as Meghan said. Well, we're really all tobacco free, so that one's a pretty easy one for us to check. And then have good food at our meetings. Instead of having, like crappy chips and chocolate, now we have nuts and other healthier food snacks at our meetings. That one's pretty easy. And we already had a water cooler. So we checked that box too. So we did more than 2 in that one also. And then the last one, connects. That one was a little harder because there was nothing we could already check. One of the boxes you can check is just read one of the Blue Zone books. So there are all these books about Blue Zones. Just have everyone on your staff read one of those books. Come together at one of your meetings and just talk about the books. What you thought about it. Again, it's a good bonding moment for your staff. And Blue Zones Project will be happy to give you a bunch of free books. And you can pass them out at your staff meeting. And then finally, hosting a family night. Megan, we haven't done this yet. It got delayed for various reasons, but we are going to have a staff bowling night. So we're going to head over on a Friday night. Staff, children, spouses, and just go bowling together and have a good time. Hopefully we'll have a good time. And that's it. That's what we did. And then they showed up at our office, and we had a moment where we invited board members and other important people and celebrated that we were certified and put a sticker on our door. And we're really proud of it. And it's not just that we're proud, but it's also really good for the office. It's good for your team for all the reasons that you said. So I really encourage anyone to do it. And if you have any questions about it, you don't want to talk directly to Megan because it's really hard to talk to her, feel free to reach out to me. Thanks, Megan.
Thanks, Cole. And we have a lot of fun while we do it too, of course, right? I think, Cole, maybe after you guys go bowling, you could all go do karaoke. That'd be great. Well, so if you are interested, we have, this is the website where you can go, and we'll put the link to it in the chat as well. It's a direct link. You can go in. If you're not sure, like what kind of organization you are, please just you can reach out to Katy, even Cole. He probably would help you figure it out. Even Kyle. But there's really largely 5 different organization types. There's a grocery store, restaurant, work site. And that's largely where Worksite is. It's like we're looking at like large work sites in the community. Katie will talk about that in just a moment. And then there's also schools. Sorry, I blanked on that for a second. Schools. And then there's other organizations. Now, that's largely what most nonprofits and work sites or organizations with fewer than fewer than 25 to 30 employees would fall under as kind of another organization, because the process to become, that we work on with is a little less involved than the Worksite Pledge. But I'll let you talk about this. Yeah, put on that. But you can go right here if you want to get involved, or you can send us a direct message as well, or just put it in the chat if you want to, and we'll reach out to you in one way, shape, or form. So I'm going to hand it back to Katy to close us out by talking about the worksite.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Megan. So as I mentioned earlier, one of the areas that we focus our work on is large employers in our valley. And by focusing on the work sites that employ the largest number of our adult residents, we can impact the health and longevity in a major way. So this is similar to the impact that we see working with our K-12 schools. That's the best way to impact the young people in our community. And the Worksite Pledge, as you'll see, this is kind of the front cover of it. That pledge process is a bit more involved than the participating organization process that Megan and Cole described. But that is due largely to the size, the scale of our large employers here in the Valley versus our smaller organizations. And these work sites focus on policy and programmatic enhancements to support the well-being of their employees. This would include policies such as healthy vending machine options, communicating the health benefits and employee-assisted programs to employees, something that certainly all large employers offer, but oftentimes their employees don't know that they have all these incredible benefits and certainly preventative benefits available to them. And encouraging volunteer activities on an annual basis. Megan alluded to the work that the City of College Place has done. They hosted a fantastic food drive in December, but they also have done a number of different volunteer activities. And then one of their policy items was actually having a policy that just says we support employees to be a part of volunteer activities, whether those are city sponsored during the workday or outside of the workday, so that employees know that that is well supported by their employer. We also offer a number of lunch and learn workshops, social gatherings, and walking groups, as we mentioned as well. And if anybody attending today, if you work for a work site that employs essentially more than 50 people, that's sort of our threshold between doing the Worksite Pledge or doing the participating organization pledge. I'd love to set up some time to chat with you. I can probably put my email into the chat. We can talk more about some of the specifics and whatnot. And then also a really great next step would be to attend that session on the 27th at 10 a.m. or sorry, 9 a.m. As part of our Connect Summit to learn a little bit more about the Worksite Pledge process and the benefits, the return on investment for our large employers. So with that, we would love to take any questions that you have about the Blues on Project, about our work with participating organizations, Worksite Pledge, whatever it may be. I believe Kyle was also monitoring Facebook Live as well. So we'd love to take any questions that you have that we can help with at this point.
Yeah, we do have a couple, and I kind of have the first one. So Cole went through a really great checklist of things that businesses can do and implement. Is that checklist available? Can an employer just go find that, or do they need to reach out and actually start the process of being certified?
Oh, yeah. So they can actually, how to get the checklist from our website is actually going to that link that Katie put in the chat. That's wallawallavalley.bluezonesproject.com/organization/sign-up-start. Wow. Because once you put your information in there, that's the first thing that it asks you to do is to download the checklist and gives access to the checklist. Also, I am happy to email it to you. But it's not just available on our website for general download. But it's a great way to look at, to see. And then also, if you go into the website and you sign up, and you get the checklist and you're like, oh, this doesn't really feel like it's right, that's okay. But it's not right for everyone, and that's okay. If you sign up, you're not legally bound to work with one of us or to meet with me and to go through the process, but it's definitely a nice way to check it out, to see what it is, and to be able to go through that. And so those are the two ways that you can get the checklist, either directly through us that we can email to you, or through the website, signing up as an organization.
Okay, and we also had another Facebook question from Valerie asking about the Real Age test. Where can she go to take the Real Age test?
Yeah, I'm happy to take this one. So, and we can work to put the official link into into the chat, which I can grab as well. But yes, so it's a free website, as Cole mentioned. So the Real Age test is also the assessment that we used last year as a community. Some people may have heard about it or seen an ad in newspaper. We were at the vaccine clinics. I'm talking with folks about it. This is how we did our sort of foundational data gathering on the health of our community. This also helped us to identify the major stressors, so the major health concerns that we had in our community in real live data. So our goal was to get at least 500 responses to the Real Age test, folks to take it. We actually, I think, surpassed 1,200, which was fantastic. So we had a really good sampling. It was sent out by mail as well as online, but it is always available. So it's something that can be taken every year. That's what we kind of encourage, to help residents see, okay, is my real age still less than my birth year or my biographic age, and or has it gone up a little bit? And it also provides a ton of free resources. So if you find that, my real age says I'm a little older than I think I would like to be, it'll provide you with resources to maybe enhance your diet or your movement, stress levels, things of that nature. And all of that is free. So there's never any cost for any of that. It also does not sign you up for a bunch of emails. I can guarantee you, I have done it both on my personal email as well as my work email, and I don't get emails, on a weekly or daily or even monthly basis about the Real Age test. So, and Megan was able to put the link into the chat there. The website is bzp.wallawallavalley.sharecare.com, as you can see there. And it takes, I think as Cole mentioned, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes. And it'll ask you questions like, how often do you exercise? How many fruits and vegetables do you have a day on average? Are you a smoker? How much stress would you say you have in your life? So things you don't have to have had a recent physical. or anything like that to be able to complete the real age test. It's really quite easy. It's fun. You get your result right away. It's instantaneous. And then, like I said, access to all those resources to improve your real age are also instantaneous too. Yeah, Megan.
Katie, could you tell about the organization, like if their organization supports it?
Yes. So you may see, like as Meghan is showing there are a bunch of our large employers. They're already included on that list. If you work for one of those organizations, please select it. It just helps us, again, kind of get a sense for, where our population is from. But if you find that, oh, well, my organization isn't listed on there, that is perfectly okay. You can leave it blank. That is not a problem at all.
Okay, excellent. So that answers a couple of questions. We had a handful of them coming really early about the size of the business. So are these principles applicable to any size business? I have less than 5 employees. How can I do this without dedicating a lot of time and money? I think Cole spoke to that pretty well. But Cole, maybe could you tell us about how much time do you think it took for you to go through the process? And did you have to invest a lot of money into the resources that you implemented?
Sorry, I'm just thinking about that. From the time that I first talked to Meghan about it until we had that celebration, maybe it was 2 months. But that's just, it wasn't like a solid work for 2 months. I mean, it's just kind of took time for us to organize ourselves internally, figure out what we're doing. It certainly didn't cost us anything. There was no out-of-pocket expense for doing this, for us anyway. In terms of time, there's about an hour meeting where Meghan showed up to do that presentation and make us a meal. And then we had a few staff meetings. We just talked about it, figured out exactly which boxes we'd like to check and what we'd like to do. I mean, I don't even think of that as kind of lost time. That's just kind of time to spend in a staff meeting talking about how to improve your office anyway. So I'm putting that aside, maybe an hour of time out of pocket. Well, I guess then 30 minutes for the celebration. Am I forgetting anything, Meghan?
Well, and then I met with with Jen like twice to go through the checklist and actually determine which items the community foundation wanted to participate in or already did, and then some documentation for those. But I mean, really, we met twice for an hour each, and I bought her coffee at Coffee Berg. So time well spent. And we got some steps in too. We walked around, and so I would say a total of maybe 4 to 5 hours total over that 2-month period, and really that 2-month period included Christmas holiday, and so we took some time off there, right, to not be actively working on it. But it's a relatively passive process, that really, like what Cole said at the very beginning, and I said it too. It's meant to be easy. It's not meant to be hard. It's meant to be really there to elevate and enhance some of the things you're already doing within your organization to help your employees be healthy. But also it's to provide some ideas and easy implementation to build some things in if you don't have them. And so and it potentially a cost could be if you ended up wanting to and you didn't, you wanted to have a water filter, fresh water, and you didn't have one, maybe buying a Brita water pitcher that can, be $15 off Amazon or Walmart potentially. But it really depends on what you want to do. I mean, most of the activities are free, or they're, having healthy snacks instead of unhealthy snacks. That's just as fun, right? So, great question.
Okay, well, I think another thing to remember is if this stuff is interesting to you on a personal level or for your workplace, that Connect Summit at the end of the month is really going to be a great place to meet other folks who are interested. If you're like me, I think a year and a half ago, I had never heard of Blue Zones at all. And so I've really learned a lot going through this, trying to figure out little steps that I could take to build some little habits, which have been really good. One thing that you didn't talk about that is one of my favorites is this cookbook with Blue Zones. So cooking is something that I like to do. I like to get my kids in the kitchen to help out with me. So, you know, for me, that's putting my thoughts first. It's plant slant, learning about new vegetables. So it's been easy to introduce them to some new foods, but there are easy things in there that you can adapt if you just want to try it out at home. So I would definitely recommend that, as well as going to the to some of those sessions coming up at the end of the month. We put the link in the chat. We're also going to put it in the comments here for the Facebook video. If you want to go back and review the channel and embed it on our website, as well as make some of the resources that you saw here available for download on our website. So this content is really valuable. It has some good longevity. It's going to be applicable in 6 months, in 12 months, and so we want to make sure that that's available. We should also thank our sponsors of the Business Summit this year. A lot of folks who are very involved with the Blue Zones project, including Blue Zones themselves. Thank you guys for sponsoring and making sure that this content is free and available to the community. We also have the City of College Place, the City of Walla Walla, and the Port of Walla Walla. And our goal here is to provide you some tools and some information to help you make your workplace better, to make it an attractive place for your employees, to make sure that they're happy and that your employee retention stays high. I know that's a difficult thing right now. If you have good employees, we want to help you take care of them and make sure that they stay. So we've gone through all the questions. I would like to reiterate that the Blue Zones folks are very accessible and really passionate. They provide a lot of great information. So if you think of something later, you can contact them directly. If you need to go through the chamber, we can connect you to the folks over at Blue Zones as well. So Meghan and Katy and Cole, thank you so much for your time. Anything else you'd like to add here at the end?
No, just a big thank you to the Chamber for having us. And I will say as well, Kyle didn't mention this, but he actually volunteers his time with Blue Zone Project also as one of the co-chairs of our Worksite committee as well, which we so appreciate his time that he gives to that committee and helping to connect us with other employers and work sites and organizations throughout the Valley. And so we just really appreciate being a part of today's sessions and this business summit. And yes, we would love to chat with anybody who has additional questions. I've already gotten some emails from participants today, which is great. So we just are a huge thank you, and thank you so much to Cole for giving your time as well. It's been a pleasure to work with Blue Mountain Community Foundation too.
Okay, thank you all so much. We'll be looking for more information soon, and we hope to see you at our future sessions. Again, this was the second of 10, so we have 8 more sessions coming up, all about your business, your workforce, and leadership development. So we hope to see you all again soon. Thanks, everybody.